Hey, welcome back, everybody. Of course, you know me. This is Dr. Keith McNally, and this is Coach's Corner. I'm here with Lester because Zoom forgot his last name, but that doesn't matter because he's going to tell us what it is, and he's got such a cool last name. Plus, he's going to talk about what he does for business because it's going to make a big impact for those who are watching and listening. So, Lester, first, your last name, and then second, what do you do?
All right, so the last name is Love and the Lester Love. And basically, I help coaches and consultants scale their personal brands with videos. So that's a summary of it. But the long version of it is pretty much helping, empowering online coaches, consultants, and service providers to achieve their short-term and long-term objectives. So one of the verticals that we are kind of like running right now is using short form content to pretty much build your audience and build an organic pool of pre-sold clients so that whenever they want to test out new offers, stuff like that, they already have an audience that they can reach out to and put out the offer and see how they respond. So they can test multiple offers at different times. And yeah, so in a nutshell, that's
Well,
what we
that's a
do.
lot. Even in a nutshell, that's a lot. So let's break that down because you know me, I'm a podcast host,
Yeah.
and you talked about short-term, is it short-term content? Or short form content?
Short
Yeah.
form content.
So
Yes.
let's talk about that difference. What do you mean by short form versus I guess there's a long form content. Let's break
Yes.
that down so our audience can understand what's going on.
Now, short form content, right? When you search about it online, you get like different opinions considering how long it should be. So you would find on different sites it would be like anywhere between 15 seconds to 2 minutes or to 5 minutes or even 6 minutes. For what we do, we realize that the 15 to 30-second spot is kind of like the sweetest spot. Long form content would be a long, your 10-minute video, your 15 to 20, or even a webinar kind video, or even the final version of this podcast, which would be anywhere between, about 50 minutes long, 50 minutes long.
Right,
So
right.
that is long form content. So short form, we could get from the long form content, we could repurpose those as well to
So
short.
so to put this in context for me,
Mhm.
I create these conversations, and so I'll
Yeah.
create a 10, and some of them have lasted 30 minutes. And what I'll do, if this is, and I just want to make sure that I got your idea right, is once it's up on YouTube, I'll clip it. And so I'll clip it like a minute, 45 minutes to a minute, like kind of a highlight of a piece of it, and then
Yeah.
share it on either Facebook or LinkedIn to kind of pull people in to the conversation, hoping that they'll watch the whole, at least more of the video. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
100%.
Oh,
And
cool.
you forgot to mention TikTok and Instagram Reels to reel you in.
I didn't necessarily forget. I just don't use those platforms, and so because I'm old. But you're absolutely right. So there's lots of platforms out there that could really people can really benefit from short form content because it's a teaser, I guess. It's a teaser to get
Yeah,
people in, right?
100%. Yes.
Okay. So how do you help service providers, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, small business owners with creating that structure?
So it depends on where they're at. All right. So for some, they're already creating content. So it's pretty much like I mentioned, repurposing the existing long form content. And, you know, we have a framework around the kind of things people say in podcasts or in long form contents that perform well for uh that gets people to engage. So we have a framework around that. So some could be stories, some could be new insights, some could be uh opposing views, things that drive polarity,
Mhm.
polarizing views. Then the other bit is for creators or coaches or consultants that are not already creating content, we develop sort of a structure or we use our blueprint where they come in, we help them with the ideation phase. So review their offer based on their offer, we build content pillars. research their ideal customer profile, and provide them with content topics, content ideas, and hooks for each of them. So all they need to do is just hit record and start with the hook, record, and then send us the videos, and we edit and distribute them across the various channels.
Ooh, talk to me about that. That seems very strategic. You mentioned something called a hook. How does that play into all this?
So pretty much you want to draw people in, right? And one of the things that all marketers do is they start with either a bold claim, so that in itself is a hook. They would say something that sort of like throws you off. That's like basically to grab your attention. So hooks are pretty much things to grab your attention, right? Sound like bait. So bait. Yeah. So
Well,
that is very important
okay,
for
well, that works perfectly. What would be, for example, a good hook or bait based on our conversation today? Because I want to use that so people get in touch with you.
okay. So we've talked about a couple of things so far. So we've talked about short form content, how we structure it. So one that I like is many people use their phones for, let's see, many people use your phones for Instagram, but only if you know how to turn it to a money printing machine. So here are 5 things you can do today to turn your Instagram addiction into a money printing machine. And there
And
we
so
go.
that's the hook.
Yes.
Can you help people with that?
Yes.
Well, that's going to be our hook for this conversation, which is fantastic. So where are you on the web? And we connected through LinkedIn, I believe. You chase
LinkedIn,
them down.
yes.
But you
Yes.
must be all over the place.
Yes, I am on LinkedIn. I am on Instagram. I am on TikTok. I am on YouTube. So for all social channels, it's I am Lester Love, except for LinkedIn, which is Lester Love.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
So how do you get, when somebody contacts you, and so then we're going to talk about, the business side of the business, um, and they're not really sure how this is going to benefit them. People hear stories with, you're going to be an overnight sensation. We get the right structure, we get the right funnel, we get the right hook, and bam, people are going to be following you left and right. Is that really the magic, or you know, is there is there a secret sauce for people who really want to get that funnel working?
What I like to see is volume.
Okay.
Volume is the key to negating any form of luck. Uh, if and so by that, I'll say if they come to me, I'm like, okay, we have to put out a lot of content, right? Because if you're just starting out, you haven't done this before, uh, we need to test your delivery. We need to, you know, again, the hooks, we need to see what people respond to the most. Like just like in any form of marketing, when the first few days are pretty much testing to see what the audience responds to. And the only way that you can know what people are responding to is to test a lot, right? And so once we have that feedback coming in, then we know what more to do and which delivery approach works best for you and you're comfortable in. And armed with that data or information, then we do more of that. But when people are starting out, especially if they don't have like any form of a lead generation system in place, sometimes I like to tell them that, hey, know that this will take a bit of time because yes, we can have a video go viral overnight, but all videos are not going to go viral overnight. And even if they go viral, do you have the systems in place to handle virality? If you have 100 people come to you today, are you going to be able to respond to them? Would that be the end of your business, or would that be the growth of your business? All right, so you also have to factor all of that in.
Yeah, good things to think about. Now, like we said earlier, you connected with me over LinkedIn.
Mhm.
So I'm here in America. Are your clients all over the world, or do you specify specifically, just America or certain other areas of the world? Who are your
Right
clients?
now, I have clients in Canada and America.
Okay. So that's your
Yeah.
that's your that's your that's your niche right now is,
Yes.
over here in the North American continent. I think that's
Yeah,
what
the world is
I'm bad at.
big.
I'm bad
Let's
at
dominate
geography.
North America first, and then we go out.
And I think that's good. And so you're targeting the right place because I know there's lots of entrepreneurs. There's even a new thing that I'm just learning about now, a mompreneur, because a lot of my colleagues are talking about being a mompreneur, literally being a mom and then wanting to start a business. And so they have to utilize their time, energies, and efforts and money appropriately in order to make the biggest impact. So for those mompreneurs out there, Lester Love is right here. He's going to help you out. For those of you who are solopreneurs, business owners, small business owners, I think he's got the right strategy. And to be quite honest, he's upfront with everything that he talked about because when he connected with me, he didn't do what other digital marketers do, and that's kind of tell me what I'm doing wrong. He said, let's have a conversation. That's my phrase all the time. And so, Lester, with the time that we've got remaining, something that our audience can take away with right now, other than contact you to make their business life a lot easier?
uh, the money in any business is really in relationships. So always focus on building relationships first, and then everything is secondary. I have this opportunity right now speaking with you because I tried to build a relationship with you. I tried to connect, right? And through that, I'm here speaking with them. So speaking with your audience, a relationship is very important.
Lester, I totally agree. Thank you so much for this conversation. We're going to put all of your contact information in the description of this video. For those of you who are watching, listening, this is another edition of Coach's Corner, and I'll see you next time. Take care.